Okay, this is lesson 8 of how to draw a Cadillac ELR, and what we're doing here is we're putting the shadowing underneath the car and just trying to make certain that we have a dark enough tonal value that part of the underside of the car disappears into it. This is what I found in the photograph, and I'm going to actually enhance it a little bit and make more of the undercarriage and bottom part of the car disappear underneath there. And of course, that's completely shadowed down underneath. There's no ambient light or anything reaching down there. So as dark as I want to make it is fine. And I'm even going to take a little bit of the sidewall of the tire away on the wheel and tire combination too. And that's going to make this the explanation for how the shadow falls under it a little bit better, I think, too. But it's just like always when you're drawing, you get to decide what you want to do, and the darker you make the underside of the car, the more the car itself shows up. So I like to really go quite dark underneath there. If you look underneath the door on the passenger side here, you can see that it's almost pure black underneath there. The reason is, of course, that's very low to the ground, so there would be very little light that would get in there. It's not quite as low in the back, so it won't be quite as dark, at least on the outside. It'll be dark toward the inside. So you're going to adjust the values to compensate for that, or actually to correspond to that, I should say. And what that's going to do is make the car look believable. It's going to make it look like there is sunlight outside, but underneath the car there isn't any sunlight because it doesn't strike there. So the more you follow those rules, and the more you make it look like nature would really do it, then the more believable your drawing will be. And here it is. I'm taking some of the sidewall away from the tire at this point and putting more shadowing underneath it because there's strong sunlight coming from above. That's why you have a highlight on the crease on the side of the door running back to the rear fender. And so you know that there is strong lighting in there, and therefore you're going to have some dark shadowing on the parts that are below halfway on the wheels and tires. And that's going to make it, again, look believable. It tells you what shape the wheel and tire are. And that's just another element of making the drawing look like it could possibly be real. And everything that you do is an effort to try and make the car look good. If you're doing a drawing, you might as well make it look good. And it doesn't take that much longer, but it does take a little bit of thinking about how you want to do this. Is the car round here? Is it flat here? Is it square cornered? Is it, whatever? Has it got a rounded corner on it? And how do you show that? And you get hints to how that works from looking at the photograph, and then from there, once you understand how things are going to work, then you can change them around. You can emphasize certain elements and de-emphasize other elements so that you can push the view that you want people to see. I mean, people are still going to look at what they want to look at, but if you make it so obvious that there's something going on that somebody has to look at it almost, then they're going to, and you want it to look the way you want it to look. And I know in my case, I always like to put the wheel that's nearest to the viewer. In this case, it would be the right rear wheel. I always like to put the most emphasis there, and the car, whether it's the nose of the car or the rear end of the car, in this case the rear end, I always like to do the most in the closest areas. And it's just like your eyes. You won't see as much detail in the far away pieces as you will in the ones that are close to you. So assuming that this car is a three-dimensional object, the same rules would apply. This is actually two dimensions, of course. It's just a flat piece of paper, but you're trying to make it look as if it is three-dimensional. And if it were three-dimensional, then you wouldn't be able to see as many details on the places far away as you do on the ones that are close. So you're going to expend a lot of time on the elements that are closest to you, the wheel and in this case the rear of the car. But you see, by doing the things that I did back in the back end, you can tell that the car is rounded from side to side. You can see that it bends around, and that's because of the lighting and because of other elements of it. And if you do those kinds of things, then this car will turn out the way you want it to look. You chose the photograph for a reason, and you just have to make it look believable and then emphasize certain elements to make it even more fun to look at. Anyway, running out of time for today. Next time we're probably going to finish up the wheel and tire, and then one after that I'm guessing we'll do the final run through. Thank you very much. Bye.